Boom, gorilla stomping in a zoo. Check the vocals, animals gather right. Boom.
Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. In today's video we're going to be resuming construction of our 2 raised garden beds, and in particular we got these 8-foot wall sections framed up and in desperate need of some planking to finally finish up those walls. As well, on top of the 8-foot sections, we're going to be adding in some more work on our 4-foot wall sections, and in particular we're going to be adding the corner posts on the sides of those 4-foot wall sections, and that'll help us with final assembly when we bring everything up onto the land and get it put in place. So without further ado, let's just get right into it and get these walls finished up. To begin today's installment, we're going to start work on the 4-foot wall sections, and in particular, if you recall from our cut list video, you notice that we cut some 4x4 cedar posts to 22-inch length, and that is the exact height of this 4-foot wall section. So I'll just grab one here now and match it up, and there you are. So these will be a perfect match in height, and we're going to be attaching these to the side like so, because these are going to form our corner posts in our raised garden bed. To show you exactly how we're going to be attaching these corner posts, I'm going to try and show you a little side profile of our end wall. Okay, so you got your 2x4s here and then your 1x6 planking on this side. You're going to take your 4x4 post and line it up with the 2x4. Don't worry about the planking. You're not going to be attaching your corner post onto that plank. You're just going to be going right there, squared up with your 2x4 support frame. Alright, so that's going to be pretty simple. We're just going to glue one side now of the corner post, put that up against it, and we're going to screw from the inside coming out into that corner post. Now that we've come to an understanding of how the corner posts will attach to the side walls, we're going to go ahead and attach our first post now onto this 4-foot wall section. We'll begin by applying a liberal amount of glue. Like so. Now this glue can run a little bit, so we'll try to be a little bit hasty and pushing this against our 2x4 and just kind of give it a little wiggle to spread that glue out a bit. Other than that, the tension of the screws alone will be enough to smear that glue across the surfaces. So we're pretty much at an exact alignment here that we want. So I'm just going to go ahead, take a 2.5-inch screw, and I'll secure this in place. Again, making sure everything is flush. And let's drive it home. Like so. So now that I got this one in place, as long as everything is flush along the side here, I'm just going to keep on going with the screws. And there you have it. That's our first one attached. From here, I'm going to take the wall, flip it around, and we're going to repeat the same procedure for this side. So we'll grab one of our 22-inch high 4x4 posts, get that lined up. The floor here is a little bit uneven after settling over the years. Just find a nice place for it. Alright, looks good. Get some glue on that and screw it in. Alright, so now that we have our first one done, here you can see. Alright, so we got our 4-foot wall section, 2 corner posts attached, and that's it, we're good to go for this one. So we're going to repeat that 3 more times with the other 3 4-foot wall sections, and go on from there. Alright, so let's move this one out of the way and get another. So that's the 4-foot wall sections done, alright? So as far as bringing these out onto the land, assembling them on site, these guys are ready, okay? So next on the list is the 8-foot wall sections. It's going to go a lot like these did. We're putting on the deck boards now, okay? So the siding that holds the earth and everything in. But there's going to be a minor difference with these 8-foot pieces, so stay tuned and you'll see exactly what that difference is. There we are. So here's one of our 8-foot wall sections. And the difference that we're going to be doing, first of all, 8 feet is 96 inches, okay? So this here is a 96-inch long piece of wall. All the deck boards that I've pre-cut are at 94 inches. That's 2 inches shorter than 8 feet. The reason for that is we're going to leave a 1-inch allowance on either end, okay? So there's going to be 1 inch uncovered by the deck boards on both sides. And that's going to allow our 4-foot wall sections to fit in nice and snug and properly. And I'll show you that closer when we get to that point. So in the meantime, we're going to start gluing this, get down our planks, screw them down, and these walls will be done. To begin these 8-foot sections, we're going to start with glue. I'm going to apply it on all upward surfaces. Now on the end, I actually went a bit wide. Try to stay in close, because remember, we're going to be keeping this full inch here without any decking on it. But as for these side runners and top and bottom, you can just put it right down the middle. This would be a lot easier if I had an assembly bench more at my height, but you know what, this old COVID body is going to have to do for this project. When you're laying out your decking, the top one we're going to make sure is flush to the top bar, as well leaving 1 inch on the end. Alright, just from measurements alone, by leaving 1 inch here, we'll have 1 inch at the other end. So I'm just going to measure this off. And that right there is 1 inch. So I'll get that flush, and I'm going to start with this corner up here, then I'll flush up my farthest corner along the bar, and we should be good. Now I have that secure with a screw on this end and a screw on the far end. That's not going anywhere for the most part. But now I have something to match all my further deck boards up against, and use this to keep my 1 inch spacing. And now that our first board is in place, I'm just going to go along and put in a few screws to secure it, and then I'll return to putting the rest of the deck boarding down, because this glue that's in the open air right now is starting to cure. So I want to get these boards on and secured in place, then I'll come back and finish all the rest of the screws. One thing to note, at the ends here where we took 1 inch of real estate away for attachment points, there's still only about a ½ inch behind these deck boards for attaching down into. So if you went all the way out to the edge of the board here and just started going straight down into that, you're likely going to be cracking your boards, and you may be cracking your 2x4 underneath. So for that reason, what I do is I drive my nails a little bit on an angle back into the 2x4 like this. So that's our first 8-foot wall complete. So before I do the next 3, I just want to illustrate to you guys now what I was talking about having this extra inch on the end. Most of you, I'm sure, got it figured out, if not all of you. But I'm going to bring a 4-foot wall section over here now, and I'm going to line these up, and you'll see right away where this extra 1 inch plays its part. What you're looking at right now is the 8-foot wall section standing up on its side, and you're looking straight down at one of the ends. I'm going to bring the 4-foot wall section in and line it up as they will be attached. There you are. It's pretty much a perfect puzzle, right? So at least that inch of space gives you clearance for the 1 inch of deck boards on your end walls. Now that we've completed our first side wall, and you guys are now in the loop as far as all the knowledge and know-how to get these pieces to fit together into a final raised garden bed, I'm going to continue on, knock out the other 3 walls, put the deck boards on those, and when that's done we should have a full puzzle set pretty much for 2 brand new raised garden beds. So with that said, let's cut into a little musical montage. I think that's the style we're after, and we'll finish up those last 3 walls. And there we have it. The 8-foot walls are done, 4-foot walls are done. All the pieces are ready to bring up onto the land and assemble now at this point. There's nothing else that needs to be assembled in the shed. Alright, yay for that. Let's take our victories when we can, okay? As you notice probably in the video, I was rolling around on this work chair here because you gotta realize, and I never really thought of it before I started, but bending over for all these screws, there's 15 screws in each deck board. There's 4 deck boards per 8-foot wall. 4 times 15, 60 screws per wall, times 4 walls, 240 screws, plus what I put into the 4-foot walls tonight. And once you're getting up into 240 plus screws, and you're probably bending over for almost every one of them, your back starts to ache a little bit, especially, as I mentioned before, in a COVID conditioned body. And I'm sure you know what that means. But for those not catching on, a COVID conditioned body is a very poorly conditioned body after the past year of very sedentary life. Alright, so you know, getting back into the endurance to get these projects going and continue them is still a challenge. Alright, we're still in spring, there hasn't been much activity outside of the home, so definitely taking a little bit more effort to get up and go. But you know what, we did it, we got the pieces made, we're going to get it all together out on the land, and we're going to have a successful gardening season, right? Heck yeah. Alright, so anyways, that's done. So, with that said, I'm going to call it an evening. The next video in regards to these raised beds should be bringing it all up onto the land, assembling it, and getting them all situated, okay? I definitely got to build up my nerve to get to the filling part. You know, depending on how things go, I may see if I can track down someone to actually scoop the dirt and put it in the beds for me. Otherwise, I'll shovel it like I did with the past 2 if I got to. But I'm thinking that I'm going to need a bit of landscaping done out on the land in order to prepare for more projects. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get it all done in one shot, get the excavator here, the backhoe, and maybe they will fill these 2 beds for me while doing the landscaping stuff that I need done. So yeah, at least this much is done. Alright, so the weather has still been iffy, as I've mentioned in previous videos, so I don't know what day it will be that these raised beds actually get up onto the land. But hopefully we'll have a nice day sometime soon, and I'll try to take advantage of it and get these brought up and put together. And we'll level them out, put the hardware cloth on, and giggity giggity, good to go. So until that happens, and stay tuned to our videos. If you haven't subscribed already, you probably should, because they're going to be coming out probably a little more frequently than they did throughout the winter. Especially, we got a lot of projects. We're ambitious with our projects. Hopefully we can follow through with that ambition, and you guys will follow us and come along with us for the ride. Alright, so yeah, look out for the next video. Subscribe, like this video, comment below, ring the notification bell. All of that stuff helps support our channel and helps our channel to grow. And we want the channel to grow and keep providing this entertainment and content for you guys while documenting our lives so that we can reflect back in our older years and appreciate what we did here in these days. Alright, that's almost a tearjerker to say that. Anyways, till next video, hope you're happy, hope you're healthy, take care of each other, and peace out.